everyone. Hello, and welcome to another session of the Mastermind Book Club. I am CEO David Diaz, and to my right is Reggie Hilliard. To my left, Charles Culmer and Marth Johnson. Tonight we are reviewing a very short and powerful book called The Conscience Code. Crack this and problems dissolve instantly. I'd like to call on our first mastermind to give his brief summary, Chaz Culmer.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Mastermind Book Club. In this book, The Conscious Code, one of the things I took out is the law of belief. The law of belief is the belief that you can really do something, but you really have to tell yourself that you can do it before your subconscious can take over. And you have to set other things in motion to contradict what might have been negative thoughts that were placed to you by yourself, by some other person. For example, if someone told you that when you were young, a teacher or your parents, that you would amount to nothing because of some actions or deeds you were doing, well, you'll never be nothing because your daddy was nothing. And you take that into your subconscious, you could be sabotaging your life. And the book gets into talking about what you do consciously is really a reflect of what you're doing unconsciously, a dual reality. So you can harvest the power of your subconscious. Your subconscious is like the machine, the mechanism, the engine, like you get in your car and you turn the key. Well, you're turning the key, but the turning of the key actually ignites the motor, which sparks by spark plugs, gas and ignition, so forth. But it's something that's totally, you're not conscious of it. You just get in, you turn the key, and you're able to drive the vehicle. That's sort of like your conscious and your subconscious. And we really have to come in uh, complete control to become what they said, the gatekeepers or the guardians of our minds. And I'm gonna stop there and let some of the other panelists fill in some of the blanks.
Chaz Comer, thank you. Thank you. Very insightful, brief summary there. Really appreciate that. Now, I'd like to take this moment to call on Reggie Hilliard.
Hello, everyone. Reggie Hilliard at the Mastermind Book Club. The Consciousness Code, basically getting into how much more you can become aware, enlightened, open to the fact of that you control the reality that you live in. And a lot of that just really has to do with things that you go through in terms of your own transformation, gaining awareness of the fact that you get choice in the matter. You always get to choose your life, choose the things that you do, choose the conditions of your reality, make it such that it's not something that's just you're living by some randomness, that you definitely get to make these decisions. It's opening up you to a level of freedom, freedom to be, freedom to act, freedom to live, freedom to do, gaining this level of presence or awareness of like now, this concept of now, that everything is happening in the now. And if you can get yourself to kind of put yourself in the present state, that then you can control the narrative for yourself and make it such that when you're living, it's always a function of what you're currently doing, where you are currently, and all the decisions you're making currently that are going to shape the now going forward. Also talking about how like time itself is an illusion, so we can get to that awareness that like we say it, but it's like, what does that really mean? Time is an illusion. We get trapped into this concept of time, and then we kind of lose ourselves and thinking about years, days, months, all these kind of things, as opposed to just being right here and focusing here. So with all that, it's just really you getting a lot more clarity, a lot more of that awareness, as I say, the choice, tapping into those keys, those tools that are going to really shape the existence that you're living each and every day, and then that's going to shape how your life goes from now until. And then once you really kind of get it, you keep working on it, it really kind of harmonizes and coalesces into this this thing of this place of you being on top of your life and top of the world that you live in, and not being fueled by or dictated by or controlled by those things outside of you, but really being in control of everything around you and really, putting together this life that you really decide that you want to live, not based on anyone else's, like what they have to say about it. It's all about you. That's what I have.
Reggie Hilliard, thank you, and it is all about you and me too. So thank you then. Now I'd like to call on next mastermind, Martha Johnson.
Well, I'm glad to come back. I miss you guys. And this book is very powerful, the Conscious of Code. Conscious of Code is a control programming. It's a control awareness, the perception, the evolution of the consciousness. For me, it's a metaphor. Like a computer runs as a code, it's called runs as information and energy. Where energy is depends on our experience, what we live, what we think, what we believe, what we feel. And we have awareness, is a sensation. We have energy, is love, is grateful, is fears. We have integration, is a sensation. We have information. The information is what we believe. The integration is mind and spirit. The consciousness of cause is not something outside, it's what we are inside. It's a physical, scientific, practical life, and spiritual. That's what I get from this great book.
Martha Johnson, thank you, and that's very good as well, insightful. Now, the conscience code, for me, I just want to make it as plain and simple as possible. Number one is ask yourself the right questions. For example, when you go to bed, as it says in several moments in this book, when you go to bed, you might have some dreams. Ask what it means, write it down, maybe keep a record. Or, most people are not going to keep a record. Maybe just remember what you went through and ask yourself, what does it mean to be flying? What does it mean to get wet? What does it mean to help someone or help yourself or run away from someone who's chasing you, for example? Ask yourself, because it has meaning and it might not be easily seen just at first view. Sometimes it takes a few days or some time to understand the meaning. The conscience code is just bringing you aware that we're on a daily basis searching for no answers. We're not asking the right questions, so how could we be searching? And, the issue with the questions is that questions are usually problems waiting to be solved, and most times we just move on, and, we don't notice that these questions need to be answered for us to go on. The second part of this book that I liked very, very much is calling yourself to just sit down, be quiet, take some time to think, meditate, take some time to be at nature, and just focus, just as Reggie and Charles and I had this discussion before. Declutter your mind so that you're aware of yourself. Declutter your mind. So this is my brief summary in reference to this book. Now, I want to ask just one question of our panelists today is, will you utilize any part of this book to assist you in the next 30 days?
Yes. Like you said, the book does mention journaling and writing down different ideas of what makes you feel successful, what makes you feel gratitude, what makes you feel that you're capable. And I'm going to really take into mindset of those things to use them to empower my subconscious as well as my conscious to achieve some of my goals.
Thank you, Chaz. How about Reggie or Martha? Going once, twice. Okay, then I'll give my brief summary in reference to this. So I plan to use this. As I said, I spoke with Chaz and Reggie before going into this. I need to meditate more. I need to become clear on what it is that I need to do next. And sometimes we're just doing way too many things. We're juggling way too many things at once, and we veer to a direction we're not supposed to be in. And then what happens? Everything starts to not work because that primary thing you're supposed to be working on, which needs more attention, you think it's not as necessary, but it is very necessary. And that's how I plan to utilize this book. So I want to thank my members here, unless they want to say anything now that we've spoken. Go ahead, Martha.
Yeah, I believe with everyone got different energies. We're body transmit energy, and the way I want to use this book, the information for this book is to control my energy, and that way, if somebody give me some positive energy, I absorb it. If somebody give me a negative energy, I just walk away, and relax without discussion, without anything, and do a lot of meditation and control your energy and the best you can, for good or bad.
Thank you. Thank you. Reg, any final words before we close out this session? Guess not. So
I'll say, I mean, really just take an inventory of life, just in general, things that I do. Constantly take re-inventory of the life, and each thing that I'm focusing on, each way that I'm living, each thing that I'm doing, just to always, just keep myself focused, things I've said already, but keep myself focused and myself as much aware of that thing that I'm doing, those things that I'm, saying, the way that I'm living, and always just being more and more aware and more at the moment aware, because the more I'm aware, I like this very, very, very instant, just constantly going through that motion of thought, keeping myself aware of like right now, then I can control or be in a state of the right now, and have more direction, or control the direction that my life is going and the things that I'm doing. So just really get really that inventory and that state of really being here, always here where I am, not anywhere else, not focused on the so-called future, the past. Just really, hey, right now, what am I doing? What am I seeing? How am I living? What am I eating? What am I, all those things. And the more I can crystallize the right now, the more I can shape the everything around me.
thank you, Reggie. The Conscience Code, very awesome audiobook available for your awareness. Thank you very much for listening to this session of the Mastermind. I'd like to thank Chaz Culmer, Reggie Hilliard, Marth Johnson, and I'm CEO David Diaz. Thanking you as well for listening to us. Until next week, where we'll review another empowering book. Take care.